Right, okay, so it's Monday morning. Just started to rain, unfortunately. Time is 9:45, and I've got to go and do a bag drop this morning. I've got to pick up a hiker's bag from a lovely village and take it to another lovely village about maybe 10 miles further down the ridgeway, because they're doing like a ridgeway walk. But before then, I'm going to take the dogs out to settle them down. I had a chat with my brother Sandy, Wiltshire Man, and he said getting a bit samey lately, and that's kind of what I'm afraid of, really, but I don't really know how to swap it around. Kind of struggling there, really. So I just thought I'd add this little bit in, which takes off some of the drone flying time, really, but there we go. Anyway, so yeah, I've been struggling lately, to be truthful. Not only on the not only kind of like, you know, mentally, I've got a bit of a battle going on in my head at the moment, which was inevitable, really. I knew it was going to come down to this, but other things have kind of been creeping in now, or seems to be kind of coming to the surface. I don't really talk about my faith or religion that much, but I probably will, because it's one of the big things on my mind at the moment, as well as trying to get myself a job. Keep applying for jobs, and I'm not getting much in the way of luck. I just think I'm too old now. I mean, I'm 58, 59 this year, and I'm just thinking, you know, what is it? Because normally in job interviews, I normally, you know, bang it and I get the job normally. But I've had several job interviews. One, I kind of got the job, but it was just too far away, and it wasn't on nights. It was on days, but I need nights. I need night work to look after the two dogs. Otherwise, they'd be left alone all day. That's not fair on them. And I went for a job interview a couple of weeks ago. I thought I nailed that. They haven't come back to me, so perhaps I didn't. And the only thing which I think the problem there is my age, which is a shame, really, because old people are normally more reliable than some young people, anyway. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now because there's someone coming down with a dog, and I'll pick it up when they've gone. Otherwise they think I'm mad. Right. Well and truly behind me now, so I can talk a bit more freely. Right. So, I talked about my job situation. I talk about my faith. Okay. Now, some of you might be Christians out there, or you might be Muslims, or you might just like be an agnostic, a bit like myself now, pretty much. I always had big questions when I was in the faith, when I was like, you know, a believer in Christ and that, in Jesus and God and the Bible. I had questions, and you wouldn't get like proper answers, you know, just like, if there's suffering in the world, then why doesn't God put a stop to it? You know, how can a man be born of a virgin? How can he walk on water and die and then rise from the dead? You know, why are my prayers not being answered? You know, all these kind of legitimate questions, which they just don't seem to get answers to. I know you've got to believe and have faith, but that's really, really tough. You know, to believe in things which you don't see on an everyday basis is really, really tough. You might have answers for this. I mean, I've been kind of like, call myself a Christian, I suppose, for about 45 years. But, you know, to me, I don't know what I believe anymore, really. Yeah, just struggling all round at the moment, but I'm just trying to remain positive. Yeah, so there we go. That's kind of like where I am at the moment, and I have been doing some research as well, you know, in the King James Bible. Some ardent Christians will say it's the inspired or the inerrant word of the living God. They're so kind of adamant that it is, that there's no contradictions in the Bible. Well, there are. There's quite a few contradictions in the Bible. And if there's contradictions, if there's errors and mistakes, and then you've got to say to yourself, what else is wrong? Was Jesus a real person? When you look into Jesus and what he did, there's about 15 or 16 more kind of Jesus kind of figures in ancient times, going right way back thousands of years before Jesus supposedly went to the cross. Jesus is just a long line in deities which have been born of a virgin, been called the Son of God, was crucified, died, and then rose from the dead and went and ascended to heaven. There's been quite a few more Jesuses before Jesus which did this, and then it leaves you scratching your head. And I had a good chat with a good buddy of mine, Bill. He might be watching my videos, and a really nice guy actually. He is a devout Christian. He was saying to me that, it's the devil does these things, he tries to fool us. I don't know if that's the case. People who believed in this kind of deity, they were just as devout as Bill is today. They believed wholeheartedly in their kind of Jesus. And I just read the Bible, and then I look at the accounts of all the other, or some of the other religions, the Holy Vedas, for instance, the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, the Gilgamesh account, it goes on, and there are similarities within all of them. I think where I'm at the moment with it, I'm thinking that the Bible really is just a mishmash of all the other religions which have predated Christianity. And I think the only reason why we've got Christianity today is really because it's what's been forced down our throats by the Romans, the Catholics. We could have been believing in Odin, or some of the other gods, if they were as forceful as the Romans were, so that's where I am with that, and when my faith was quite a big part of my life. It was kind of like, in a sense, the glue that held me together, if that makes any sense at all. And the glue is just kind of coming apart now, and I don't know how that's going to affect me moving forward. Anyway, so at the end of the day, I'm a person who is seeking for the truth. There's no point in pursuing something if you think it's a lie or you don't believe in it. You force yourself to believe in something, and that's never a good thing. You should never force yourself to believe in something, I don't think. You either believe it wholeheartedly, and there's some evidence for that, but I'm really kind of struggling for evidence at the moment. I have had some strange things go on in my life, like everyone else probably. I'm not sure I can actually put that down to any kind of a deity or a god, really. Perhaps I can, perhaps I can't, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to head on back now and make my way back to the car and carry on driving, and I'll get on with my day. And make our way in. Quiet. Lovely thatched cottage there. Yeah, nice old pub, this one. It's called the White Horse, and I've got to figure out whereabouts I've got to go to pick up the bag. There you go, looks alright, doesn't it? Caution, low beams, it says. Good old English pub. Morning.
Hello.
Got to pick up a bag and take it to Leckham Regis.
Okay, what's the name?
Oh, good question. Just bear with me a moment. Right, got to go to room number 1. Room 1, there we go. Hello. Oh, nobody's in. Okay, it's a bed like a bed and breakfast place. Yeah, looks right, doesn't it? Right, so there's the bag. And I've got to get it in my car and take it to Letcombe Regis. I'll just check actually before I start driving. The Greyhound Inn, Letcombe Regis. Right, let's go then. Letcombe Regis. Nice little village. It's kind of set in the Berkshire Downs. Only a small place. But once again, I think it's got one pub. Maybe 2 pubs. And yeah, it's a nice place. So what people tend to do, they're on kind of like hiking trips. So they walk the Ridgeway or part of it. They got like a week off. These are kind of people who like walking. Not a great day to walk today, mind. It's raining out there and it's not very warm. So I guess what they've done is that they've come from somewhere and they've got the bed and breakfast there. And because they need to go somewhere else, they can't obviously take their bags with them. So that's where I come in and do that. So legally I'm allowed to do this because I'm not taking people or passengers per se. So this is basically all I'm doing at the moment. I get maybe 2 or 3 jobs like this a week. Not really enough to keep me going, mind. It's not something which is going to be always there. It's just there because the other taxi guy in the village who normally does this said, look, you know, you're not working at the moment, so you can do these and I'll do something else, which is very good of him. Just means I've actually got some kind of income coming in, can put food on the table and pay a few bills. That's it really. So yeah. Yeah, and all this because I just forgot to renew my taxi license. You know, I had a bit of a senior moment and now they've completely thrown the book at me, which I think's just a bit unfair in a sense, you know. You know, so I've been cautioned. I had to go up to the offices and sit down and sign a declaration, a caution. And I said to them, look, you know, what's the chances of me getting my license back? And they said, well, you know, we're going to have to treat you as a new driver, okay? If you do the courses, we'll see what happens. You know, so the courses come to about £300, maybe £400, because there's about 4 or 5 courses I've got to do. It'll take quite a long time for me to do those courses. And they said, look, once you do the courses, we will then review your application, but there's still a good chance you'll get turned down. And I said to them, look, you know, I can't really afford to spend all that money if you're going to turn me down. He said, well, that's just the way it is. I said, look, I need a guarantee. If I do the courses, please guarantee me my badge. And they wouldn't do that. So that's telling me that they're not going to give me my badge. And in fact, they made it pretty clear in several email exchanges going back weeks that a license would not be provided. You know, so yeah, so I'm on a 7-year ban. My 20-year business is now pretty much gone. They've put a 58-year-old guy on the dole. I'm not even on the dole actually, because I can't claim dole money. And that's another subject which I won't get into just now. Yeah, so they put me. Oh, there's deer over there. Whee. I don't know if you can see them at all. Just running off. The dogs have seen them. There we go. Guy there's got some big antlers on him. Yeah, I'm so glad they're in the field and yeah. quiet. Anyway, quiet. Shush, shush, shush. Leo, settle down. Yeah, I'm so glad they're in the field because they could quite easily be on the road. And yeah, and oftentimes you're driving along these back roads, nothing but lots of open countryside, and you'll see them on the road, on the side of the road, where a car has hit them. It's very sad when that happens. Yeah, anyway, so things aren't particularly great at the moment, but you know, things are moving regarding the selling of the house and the buying of the new one. So in a sense, the move has come at a right time, where I've got pretty much plenty of time to get in the house and to get to it and to decorate. We've been out buying wallpaper, buying paint, buying new bedding for the bedroom, you know, one thing or another. So yeah, the move is ongoing pretty much, and I just want to get in there, get on with it now, and make it our own pretty much. Okay, right, brace yourself, release the mad dogs. Gosh, well, there we go. Yeah. Right, so lock my car. There we go. Right, okay. Yes, so yeah, it's still raining, unfortunately. Not really drone flying weather. I have my drone with me, and if by any miracle it stops raining, I might well get it up, but I think I might leave that for tomorrow. Yeah, so been a lovely weekend weather-wise, really nice actually. And I've been busy the weekend, just doing other things really. I tend not to do too much drone flying when the wife isn't working. I spend more time with her and the family. But now Monday's here, and I think yes, I can get out and fly my drone, and then it starts raining. So I'm not going to. I don't think, not when it's raining anyway. It's not very nice flying your drone in the rain. You just can't see your screen to see where you're going, you know. So I tend not to fly it so much in the rain. Anyway, so yeah, so it's a bit of a shock to the system in a way. Sort of me working all the hours that God sends, and then doing absolutely nothing at all work-wise. It's quite hard to adjust to that. Yeah. I'll tell you what I thought about doing as a business. If I can't get myself any kind of meaningful employment regarding, you know, night porter work or something like that, because really I'd have to work nights to fit in with the dogs. Okay, yeah, dogs kind of dictate my life at the moment. So I thought about either starting up a dog walking business. I'm not sure of the ins and outs on how to do that, but that's one option. And the other option is some kind of a roof cleaning business, domestic roofs. So it would mean that I'd have to get some kind of a van with a cherry picker. It goes up like maybe 30 or 40 feet. And then what you get is a jet wash, and then start to jet wash people's roofs. Something which I've been thinking about for a while now. Because when you drive around the town or wherever, like you look up at people's roofs, there's a whole load of moss on their roof, you know, and the gutters must be absolutely clogged up with moss and debris and rubbish. So that's just something which I've kind of been thinking about, and I don't think there's much in the way of any kind of services like that in Swindon where I live. But once again, it's like spending out £15,000-20,000, you know, on a vehicle to do that, and then hoping that your business takes off, you know. So if it doesn't take off, then you're left with a load of debt. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that one. But I do need to do something. But the last thing I want to do is jump out of the frying pan into the fire. Is to do like something which, you know, I'm forced to do, let's say, because I've done that before and I've paid the price heavily. I've invested in something which I thought was going to do well and make me, you know, a bit of money kind of thing, a business line. The whole cam cap thing was one of those, and I did have an application on the iPhone which I thought was going to do really, really well, but I just got ripped off on that one. So I'm just thinking, you know, once bitten, kind of twice shy. Perhaps it's just time for me to just get myself a little job and just to ease back and just to go into retirement like that. But it was just something I was kind of thinking of. If I cannot get myself any kind of job, maybe because of my age or something, I'm going to have to do something else, because I'm too young to retire. And I do feel as if I've still got something to offer, you know. And I don't know what that is at the moment. Yeah, so I've just been, these thoughts have been going around my head at the moment. You know, you tend to think like this when your 20-year business has been kind of ripped away from you and you still have to do something. Anyway, I'm enjoying my lovely little walk out here. It's really nice. I don't normally come up this far on this little pathway, but it's a really lovely place. But the rain is still coming down. I don't think I'll be flying my drone today, just because I think the video is going to go on for too long that way. I have noticed that they've crept up to around about half an hour, 30 minutes or just over or thereabouts, and I don't normally put out content any more than 20 minutes. Just that I like flying my drone so much, I've extended my videos, you know, and I hope you enjoy them. But I just feel, I think Sandy might be right. It's the same old thing day in, day out, you know. Goes out to the woods, flies his drone, talks about something, and then that's the end of the video pretty much. So I just thought I'd do something different. I don't normally talk about these things. I'm, especially regarding my faith, that's something which is kind of very personal to me, you know. But I thought I'd just open right up about that, just because you can. Okay, right.